If you're thinking about buying or selling a property in Spain, this video is made for you. Imagine you have finally found that perfect house in Spain. Maybe close to the beach, in a charming village, or a lively city. You're ready to sign, you pay a deposit, and it feels like a dream come true. As you already know, one of the most critical points in any property transaction is the contract. In this video, I'm going to teach you what to look out for so you can avoid the most common and costly mistakes that foreigners do when buying or selling properties in Spain. This is such a big problem in general that it even got to the Supreme Court in Spain. We'll see that later in the video. By the way, let me briefly introduce myself. I'm Daniel Bertomeu and I work alongside my father, Juan Bertomeu, which is a lawyer and tax advisor in Spain with more than 30 years of experience. I usually do videos about real estate, taxes in Spain, immigration, so if this is a matter of your interest, I hope you watch it until the end, and if it's the case, you can subscribe and share the video. But let's go! The main steps when buying a property in Spain are pretty straightforward. 1. You pay a deposit to reserve the property. Second, you sign a private purchase contract. Third, you go to the notary to complete the official sale. And fourth, you register your property at the land registry. In this video, we are focusing on the first step, paying the deposit, known in Spain as Arras. Arras are not just a simple reservation fee. This is such an important part of the whole property purchase process that depending on how your contract is written, this can protect you or leave you completely exposed. If you don't clearly specify the type of Arras you're using, you might end up losing your deposit if you change your mind, or even worse, be forced into completing a transaction you no longer want. Trust me, I have seen this happen, and especially my father, which, as I said, has been a real estate lawyer in Spain for over 30 years. Alright, we know already that Arras are a crucial part of any property transaction, but here's a thing that many people do not realize. There are 3 different types of Arras in Spain. 1. Arras confirmatorias. These basically confirm the agreement. If someone tries to back out, the other side can legally force the deal through. Arras penales. These also confirm the deal, but with an added twist. If someone breaks the agreement, they don't just lose the deposit, they might also have to pay extra penalties written into the contract. And again, the other side can force the sale. Third, but not least, actually this is the key one, are the arras penitenciales, in English, withdrawal arras. They are the only type of arras that let you easily change your mind. If you're the buyer and you decide not to buy, you lose your deposit. If you're the seller and you change your mind, you pay back double the deposit. Simple as that. And now, and this is the most important part of the video, I really want you to pay attention because this detail is overlooked far more often than you would imagine. If your lawyer doesn't specify in your contract that you are agreeing to withdraw arras or arras penitenciales, Spanish law automatically assumes that you're committing under confirmatory or penalty arras, and that dramatically limits your options when you want to back out or your situation changes. Let me give you 2 examples so you understand this completely. Imagine you found an incredible apartment in Marbella with beautiful sea views. You quickly pay a deposit of 20,000 euros, and your lawyer draws up the initial contract. However, instead of clearly defining the deposit as withdrawal arras or arras penitenciales, the lawyer simply writes arras without specifying the type. A month later, your situation changes. Perhaps you discover another property you like even more, or your finances suddenly aren't quite as stable as before. You call your lawyer expecting to simply forfeit your deposit and walk away easily. But reality hits hard. The seller, advised by their lawyer, points out that your contract never explicitly allowed you to withdraw. Because of this oversight, the seller now insists on enforcing the contract. You either have to complete the purchase against your will or potentially face costly legal claims for damages. all because your lawyer didn't specify the type of Arras in the initial agreement. Now, let me share with you a real case that we had in the office a few months ago that will show you the other face of the coin. In Spain, it's an expression, la otra cara de la moneda, is when you see things from another perspective. Well, I hope we understand each other. But basically, this client found a property in Javia that was a really good deal, a rare opportunity nowadays to find a bargain like this. So he had to pay a deposit of 15,000 euros. We draft a contract, but in this case, we weren't interested that the seller could back out. We were interested that the seller had to sell once that contract was signed. So we explicitly said that the Arras weren't withdrawal but confirmatory. What happened? The seller decided not to hire a professional lawyer. And this is a possibility. I mean, you can buy or sell a property in Spain without a lawyer. I will never understand when it's about 500,000, €1,000,000. You think that it's a good idea to save 1,000, 2,000 euros in a lawyer, but everyone is free. And this was basically good for us because, well, a few weeks later, he realized that the price was too low in comparison to the market. It was so low that it was worth it for him to give back the deposit that our client, the buyer, gave in first place times two, because that's what happens when the seller backs out, and even though he would have made a profit, just so you have an idea. But unlucky for him, we are professional lawyers and we made sure in this first initial agreement the type of Arras so he couldn't back out. Now you see how important the wording in a contract is. And of course, this took time. We had to go to court because, well, he thought he was right, and well, I understand him. I mean, it's very frustrating, when you think you can back out from something but you cannot. But in this case, the Spanish Supreme Court has very, how can I say, precedents that explain that the type of Arras are crystal clear. Withdrawal Arras or Arras penitenciales, you can back out. Confirmatory or penalty Arras, you cannot back out. In case you're interested, there was a 2018 Supreme Court Spanish ruling that clearly stated what I have been talking about, and the problem was very similar to the examples I've just gave. In case you're interested, you can see the ruling here so you can check it for yourselves. I hope the video was interesting for you, but before finishing the video, let me give you a last piece of advice. When it's about buying or selling property in Spain, I would also include here taxes, drafting wills, all this, I really recommend you hiring a professional lawyer with an extended background behind. Why do I say this? Because now I'm seeing lots of people that have been living in Spain for a long time that even offer these services. And look, if it's about getting an NIA number or a simple procedure with the Spanish administration, of course, it's better to do it with a professional lawyer, but you can do it with someone that has been living and know how things work. But we're talking about thousands of euros. Of course, nothing happens until one day something happens. And yes, you can go to court, you can claim for your rights, all that, but you have a problem. And Spain is a great country, but the justice is very slow. So the better you prepare for the worst situations, the better it will go for you. As I said, I work alongside my father, a lawyer and tax advisor in Spain with a lot of experience. We work daily on cases like property purchases, taxes, wills, anything that is related for non-residents. If you'd like to book a consultation with us, you have a link in the description. You're also seeing the email here on the screen. Leave me a comment of how you found the video, other topics that could be of your interest. And lastly, this is the last thing. This is the first of many videos that I'm going to be doing about these kind of little things that are very important for you to know when buying or selling a property in Spain. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, share it on Facebook, WhatsApp, anything is it really helps me, because at the end, it's really hard, I think, for YouTube or Instagram to find my target audience, because I'm a Spanish guy. You can clearly say from my accent, doing videos for foreigners that have properties in Spain. But I really love doing this and also doing my job, working next to my father. So yes, thank you and see you next time. Bye bye.